Hello cricket fans, welcome back to our channel. Today, we are diving into a crucial topic for all Indian cricket supporters. That is, India's qualification chances for the World Test Championship Final 2025. India is facing Australia in Melbourne, and with the team trailing behind early in the Boxing Day Test, it is looking increasingly unlikely that India will pull off a victory. As of now, India's World Test Championship percentage has dropped slightly from around 57% to 55% after the recent draw in Brisbane. Indian team currently in third place, trailing Australia, who have around 58%. But the big question remains same: can India still qualify for the WTC final if they lose or draw the test? Well, let us break down the qualification scenarios. If India loses the Melbourne test but manages to win the final test in Sydney, the series will end 2-2. This would leave India with 126 points. In this case, Australia could still overtake India if they manage to draw both their remaining tests in Sri Lanka or win at least one. That would leave India holding onto a slim hope. Next up, let's say India loses the Melbourne test and then finishes the series 1-2 with a draw in Sydney. India would then have 118 points, which would not be enough to secure a spot in the final. This scenario is not ideal for India. The team needs to do better than just one draw to stay in contention. Now, let us say India draws both the Melbourne and Sydney tests. In that case, India would end up with 122 points. Here is where it gets interesting. Australia would still need to win at least one of their two tests in Sri Lanka to push India out and qualify for the finals. India would still have a fighting chance, but it will depend heavily on how Australia performs in Sri Lanka. Lastly, let us consider a scenario where India draws the Melbourne test but bounces back to win the Sydney test. That would leave India with 130 points. In this case, Australia would need to win both their remaining tests in Sri Lanka to secure a spot in the finals, while India would still need to rely on results from Sri Lanka. This would be a much stronger position than the other scenarios we have discussed. So India's qualification chances for the World Test Championship Final 2025 depend heavily on the result of the remaining test in the Border Gavaskar Trophy and the upcoming matches between Australia and Sri Lanka.